The topic is fear. What is fear? Fear is foolish. Fear is stupid. Fear is stressful. Fear is painful. Fear is unnatural, unnecessary, unhealthy. Fear is rude. Fear is destructive. Fear is dangerous. Fear is inhuman. So, a lot of people are taught or hypnotized or trained or conditioned to think that fear is human, that it's necessary, it's natural. Just accept it. No, can't do much about it, or sometimes you can do it, but it's really, really difficult. Or you should have certain kinds of fears. No, 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 no. This might be controversial. Of course, you can have different ideas of what fear might be. But hey, provoke. My name is David Walton, Professor of Provocation. Please be provoked. Look to be provoked. I want you to be triggered. I want you to be upset. I want you to be disturbed. But of course, if you're triggered, disturbed, or upset, or stirred up, it's not really you. It's what some people might call the shadow self, the dysfunctional anti-thought field is what I call it. And it's not really you. So when you eliminate those hang-ups, those prejudices, those identities, misidentities, those silly conditionings, and those crazy beliefs, and those unthought out rules and roles, and throw them out and replace them with excellent seeds, excellent linkages that are consciously designed to be awesome, you will have no more fears. Now, fear isn't natural? It's not human? Yeah, that's right. Fear is completely unnecessary, completely unnatural, and never helps you, right? There's always a better way. Now, if you have fear and you utilize it less harmfully and less reactively, then it can be okay, but you have to add something else in with it, okay? So why bother? Why not just be fully awesome, right? So some people might say, well, fear is useful. Yeah, awareness is useful. Being fully alive is useful. Being fully awake is useful, right? That's what we are meant to be as unlimited sentient beings, right? Now, here's where there's a difference between us and animals. Now, animals have fear, but what is the purpose of fear? Fear, basically, bottom line, simple, is to protect themselves against damage to their physiological integrity, right? It's to survive physiologically, to stay alive, to stay healthy, to stay vibrant. So, fine, if they have a built-in mechanism that they need because they don't have our faculties, that makes some sense, right? As a temporary usage, when threatened, they can go into fight or flight or fawning or freezing or whatever. May work, may not work. But what the hell are you doing that for? When you have these incredible powers to proactively prevent things from happening in the first place, right? To, if worst case scenario, respond to a situation that's less than awesome, or take action and not react, okay? So, again, this is a test of how much have you taken control of the steering mechanism, right, of your life, and how much you're steering the wheel. Got your hands on the wheel? Are you steering? Do you know where you're going? Do you have any clue? Again, go to my video that I'm going to be doing on the 4 powers, which is your language, your imagination, your subjective faculties, your emotions, and your physiology. Know what they are, be consciously and proactively upgrading them, engineering them, redesigning them, do research, look for the best exemplars, and actually just watch my videos, and you'll learn about these things. But in the meantime, start doing something about it. So fear is bullshit. Bullshit. And what are people afraid about? They make up fears. They have nothing to do with physiological danger. Nothing to do with a tsunami, a forest fire, or some kind of fire. Nothing to do with an earthquake. Nothing to do with a saber-toothed tiger. So ask yourself, If you ever thought of being afraid before, or in the future, or now, what were you afraid of? And ask yourself, how many times was there a real threat? Like, think of a time and ask yourself, okay, where am I? What is it I actually see? What is it I actually hear? What do I smell? What do I taste? Which is really not that important necessarily, but it could be in some situations. Or what am I touching? Like, so what are your five physical senses engaging? What's actually going on at that time? Whether it's before, now, or in the future that you anticipate, right? What's actually going on? Because the rest of it you're making up. The conclusions, the linkages you're making up. And do they work? Does it make sense? Right? So if you're afraid of somebody laughing at you when you speak in front of a group, that's not fear. It appears to be fear, but it's really delusion triggering off fear that was meant for an animal, which is not you, which is another story. I'll get into the difference between us and animals another time, right? But take a hint. I'm giving you clues here. Fear is bullshit, right? Fear is anti-thought. Fear is mental illness, okay? Now, there's a lot of, so-called experts that, like you to do things slowly and to be, impotent and restricted and afraid. It's in their best interest. They might get very angry about this. And I'm sure you've had a lot of programs and limitations and prejudices and conditionings which have convinced you that fear is really necessary and what can I do about it? And that's being a victim, right? So, do you want to be a victim? Maybe not. Maybe yes, maybe not. Write in the comments below. Share this video. Okay, so fear is completely unnecessary. Now, you might agree, if you think about it, that fear is stressful, right? And stress, does it help your mind and body? No. And does it help your communication? No. Do you communicate with yourself better? No. So the more you fear, the more you ruin things for yourself and others. You ruin your heart, your mind, your body, your bank account, and you ruin other people. Okay? There's an old saying in a wisdom scripture, that which I was afraid of came upon me, right? Fear is like reverse faith, right? You have the confidence that something awful is going to happen, so you make it happen when you're in a state of fear. Okay? Right. So, I'm saying again, it's inhuman because we can do better. We only have fear when we're not being ourselves. It's completely dysfunctional. Replace fear with wisdom, proactivity, awareness, discrimination, selection. What you should be afraid of is fear. If there is anything to be afraid of, it's fear and dysfunctional thinking. Then you say, well, what if there is a forest fire? Well, get away. Of course, you need to protect your body. That's awareness. That's awareness. But if you don't know how to handle fear and you're not used to dealing with your body and that part of you, because you've avoided things that are difficult, you might just freeze and that might not help. How many times have people done something when they've been afraid that doesn't work, even if the situation is actually threatening? And if you're getting afraid when something's not threatening, guess what? You're burning out your body. You're hurting your immune system. You're not as creative. You're more likely to communicate with yourself with others much worse. Okay? So, fear is not a great idea. It's not a great idea. It's not a great practice. If you think you're afraid, act courageous, act creative, act confident. And it sure helps if you start speaking more confidently, running more confident movies, running more confident emotions, and move more confidently, right? Open up your chest, breathe, move. What does a tiger move like when it's like, it's the guy, it's the man, it's knows that it's king of that jungle, or the lion. I mean, what does a resourceful animal move like? Copy that and do the equivalent of what your body can do, right? Are your joints limber? That's why it's good to exercise different movements. And it's good to practice power poses, right? Fear. It's very hard to be afraid if you're looking up, you're breathing properly, you got good posture. It's very hard to be afraid if you're imagining awesome things. Very hard to be afraid if you're talking positively. So line those up as much as possible, and it's opposite of fear. Okay? Fear is overrated, over promoted, and it's been taught and trained and imposed on you the idea that it's such a big problem. Well, I've eliminated so many people's fears and phobias starting when I was a kid. It's not that hard, contrary to the incompetent so-called professionals who either can't do it or won't do it, or it takes them a long time to do it because they just really don't get it. You can learn how to eliminate your fears and other people's fears quickly, rapidly, enjoyably, and easily. Okay? Comments below. How do you like this topic? What other topics you want to hear about it? Is there specific things I said you'd like me to expand upon, maybe possibly in another video? Or I can, have a chat with it about it in the comments if I see it. Again, subscribe, like, share, and press notifications. Have a great day that's bold and courageous. Adventurous, A. B. Bold. C. Courageous. D. Daring. E. Enthusiastic, etc. See you in the next video.